Good morning. And in the previous presentation, we have seen what is digestion, what are the types of digestion, and also the different stages of digestion. And today we are going to see the role of enzymes in carbohydrate, protein, and fat digestion. So here is the content. First, you should know what is digestion, then what are enzymes, then the role of enzymes in carbohydrate digestion, role of enzymes in protein digestion, and role of enzymes in fat digestion. So what is digestion? As you all know, it's a very simple process, that is the breaking down of foods that we eat in a soluble form suitable for absorption. The activities of the digestive system can be grouped under 5 main headings. First one is ingestion, propulsion, then digestion, absorption, and elimination, which we have studied in detail in the previous presentation. Right? Okay, and here now you should know what are enzymes. See, enzymes play a very important role in the process of digestion. So first here you should know what are enzymes. An enzyme is a protein that speeds up chemical reactions in the body, and digestive enzymes are released or secreted by the organs of the digestive system. Okay, so it is a protein that spreads up chemical reaction in the body. It speeds up the chemical reaction in the body. Okay, and they are released or secreted by the organs of the digestive enzyme. Okay. And now we'll see the role of enzymes in digestion. See, normally when you take any sort of food, this enzyme attaches to the food particle. That will be the first step. Then what will happen? The enzyme speeds up the chemical reaction and breaks down the food particle into simpler molecules. Okay? And the third step, the enzyme releases the broken down food particle. Okay, so 3 main steps you can see through this diagram. The first step, the food what you are taking in get attaches. Okay, the enzyme attaches to the food particle. Then it breaks down. After breaking down, it releases the food particle. That's simple process. Okay, right? And here you should make a point. The food molecule breaks apart, but there will be no change in the enzyme. The enzyme will be as such. Okay, right? Okay. And as you know, the food we take mainly consists of carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. Carbohydrates are broken down into monosaccharides, lipids into fatty acids, and monoglycerides, and proteins into amino acids. Okay, so main food. See, every day we are taking different types of food, and all these food consist of carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. And normally the carbohydrate will break down into monosaccharides, and the lipids will break down into fatty acids and monoglycerides, and proteins into amino acids. So all these breaking down process will be done by the enzymes. Okay, and here you should know what is chemical digestion. See, it involves the breaking of covalent chemical bonds in organic molecules by digestive enzymes. And carbohydrates are broken down into monosaccharides, as we have seen earlier. Then proteins are broken down into amino acids, and fats are broken down into fatty acids and glycerol. These changes are said to be chemical changes, and the process is said to be chemical digestion. First, we will see about the digestion of carbohydrates. Okay. See, the ingested carbohydrates consist of starch, sucrose, lactose, and glucose and fructose. Okay, as I told you, every day we are taking different types of foods, and normally when you take rice and bread, it consists of starch, and we are using the table sugar, which consists of sucrose, then milk sugar consists of lactose, and when we take fruits, we will get glucose and fructose. So during the process of digestion, the polysaccharides is broken down into smaller chains and finally into disaccharides and monosaccharides. Okay, so the food we take will be in the form of polysaccharides. Then these polysaccharides will change into disaccharides. Then these disaccharides will change into monosaccharides. Okay, very simple equation. Can keep it in mind. Okay, polysaccharides into disaccharides and disaccharides into monosaccharides. Okay, here's a diagrammatic explanation for you for carbohydrate digestion. See, it starts from the buccal cavity. Okay, already you have learned the various organs involved in the digestive system. It starts from the mouth and ends with the anus. So, from the mouth itself, carbohydrate digestion starts. See here, the starch will be converted into maltose in the presence of an enzyme called salivary amylase. See, already we have seen enzymes are responsible for digestion. It speeds up the breaking process, isn't it? Okay. So here in the buccal cavity, inside the mouth cavity, we have an enzyme salivary amylase. It is secreted by the salivary gland. It is this gland that secretes salivary amylase, and it is this enzyme that helps to break down starch into maltose. Okay. Then again, the ingested food comes along the esophagus and reaches the stomach. And usually in the stomach region there will be no carbohydrate digestion. Then from there it goes along with the small intestine. And now see here, the small intestine, lot of enzymatic reactions takes place. The starch will be converted into maltose. Then maltose will be converted into glucose. Then lactose will be converted into glucose and galactose. Sucrose will be converted into glucose and fructose. So all these changes happens in the small intestine in the presence of enzymes. Okay. And now digestion of carbohydrates in the stomach and intestine. See, as I have told you, usually there will be no big process of digestion of carbohydrates takes place in the stomach, but still a minor amount of digestion occurs in the stomach by gastric amylase and gelatinase. Okay, and carbohydrate digestion is continued in the intestine by pancreatic amylase, a series of disaccharides enzymes that are released by intestinal epithelium digest the disaccharides into monosaccharides. Okay. And the next is digestion of proteins. See, proteins are taken into the body from number of dietary sources. Okay. Every day we are taking different types of food and the dietary source may differ, and we are taking it in different forms. Okay, and here again the digestion site, you can see the protein digestion takes place in the stomach, then in the duodenum, and then in the small intestine. So here in the stomach, an enzyme called pepsin helps to break down proteins into amino acids. So first the proteins will be broken down into polypeptides. Then in the duodenum, with the help of trypsin, the polypeptides will be break down into peptides. Okay. Then from the duodenum, it enters into the small intestine, and in the small intestine there is an enzyme called erythrin that helps to break down peptides into amino acids. Okay, so these are the three main steps involved in digestion of proteins. Okay. Now we will see them one by one. Digestion of protein in the stomach. See, the stomach stores the food for about 4 to 5 hours. Okay, once you swallow the food, it enters through the esophagus and then it enters the stomach, and there it is stored for about 4 to 5 hours. So here now what happens, The food mixes thoroughly with the gastric juice of the stomach by the churning movement of the muscular wall, and this is called the chine. So once you take the food in, and the food when it enters inside the stomach, it will be there for about 4 to 5 hours, and at that time what happens, the food mixes with the gastric juice present in the stomach. So there will be a churning movement, I mean something like mixing up, okay, mixing up of the food along with the enzyme, and this is now called chine, okay. So it is this gastric juice, pepsin, that will digest almost 10 to 20% of the protein, okay. Then pepsin converts the proteins into proteoses and peptones. And renin is another enzyme found in the gastric juice which helps in the digestion of milk proteins. And normally this renin will be found in the infants, okay, especially for the digestion of milk proteins, okay. And then digestion of protein in intestine. See, the bile, pancreatic juice and the intestinal juice are the secretions released into the small intestine. So now almost 10 to 20% of the digestion is finished in the stomach itself. Okay, 10 to 20% of the protein food is digested by the stomach itself, the gastric juice present in the stomach itself. After that, when the food moves to the small intestine gets all these secretions. The bile secretion, the pancreatic juice secretion and the intestinal juice. All these secretions are released into the small intestine. So this consists of trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, procarboxypeptidases. And all these enzymes helps in the digestion of protein in the intestine. Okay, so here are the various steps how it reacts. See, the trypsinogen can be converted into trypsin. Chymotrypsinogen can be broken down into chymotrypsin. Then procarboxypeptidases can be broken down into carboxypeptidase A, carboxypeptidase B, aminopeptidases. Then proelastase converts into elastase. Then procolipase can be converted into colipase. So like this, so many changes happens due to the presence of the enzymes secreted, I mean released into the small intestine. Okay. And here is a simple process I will explain you. I mean, when you take the food through the mouth, it contains dietary proteins. Okay, and this dietary protein, when it enters the mouth, the stomach, will be denatured and partially hydrolyzed. Okay, so because of the churning movement, when the chine is formed, that will be denatured and partially hydrolyzed. Okay, then when it enters the small intestine, it is converted into small peptides and amino acids, and the intestinal lining, due to active transportation, the amino acids enters into the bloodstream. That's a very simple process of protein digestion. Then the third one is digestion of lipids. See, lipids are molecules that are insoluble. Okay, it's very hardly dissolved in water. It is insoluble. And lipids normally include triglycerides, phospholipids, cholesterol, steroids, fat-soluble proteins, and so on. The first step in lipid digestion is emulsification, which is followed by bile salt secreted by the liver and stored in the gallbladder. Okay, here you should know what this process is. Okay, first you should know what is emulsification. It is the transformation of large lipid droplets into simpler droplets. Is it clear? Emulsification is the transformation of large lipid droplets into much simpler or smaller droplets. Okay, right? And this lipid molecule is digested by some enzymes. Okay, This is a simple diagram representing the process of emulsification. So under lipid digestion, you should know what is emulsification. Okay, and through this diagram also you can understand the lipid particles from the diet enters through the mouth, and in the oral cavity itself digest the short and medium chain fatty acids. In the buccal cavity itself, due to the presence of the lingual lipase, some fats will be digested. And then when it enters into the stomach, the gastric juice, gastric lipase digests again some fatty acids. Okay, and the bile secretions, the gallbladder secretions, all these enters into the stomach. And here again, there will be digestion of lipids, right? And the three main enzymes are pancreatic lipase, then phospholipase, and cholesterol esterase. These are the three main enzymes that helps in the digestion of lipid particles. Okay, so the majority of lipase is secreted by the pancreas, and little amount is secreted by the buccal cavity. Then stomach also produces some amount of gastric lipase. All these together helps to digest lipid particles. Okay, and they digest the lipid particles into free fatty acids and glycerol, and sometimes cholesterol and phospholipids. Okay, right, and this is also another diagram explaining all the three processes of digestion: carbohydrate digestion, protein digestion, and fat digestion. Okay, right, so that is all about the role of enzymes in the process of digestion. Thank you.